Hello. Hello, hello. Trying to see if the stream's actually working on YouTube today because I am technologically illiterate, it seems, and unable to make it work. Oh, it's working actually. Cool. I somehow fixed it. All right, so I'm going to pop up the YouTube chat. What's up? Concrete UK, what is up? I'm normally terrible at checking the YouTube chat, but I have popped out the chat. I have it with me. And I also have the chat for Twitch. Okay. So today I don't have a huge amount of time to stream, but what I wanted to do was my goal at least is to look at like a VOD. I don't know. I have to judge this based off of time, but to look at a VOD for early laning from a pro. Look at one of my recent games afterwards, and sort of like make some notes on this, and then also try to get a couple games in and try to apply some of these things that stand out, even if it's like failure. Obviously, we will learn by trying to apply. So and this is kind of a format I think I'm going to try to do, because a lot of new people are coming to Deadlock, and I haven't really taken my own personal skill super seriously, because as a lot of you will or may be able to understand, that when you cast a game, you don't need to necessarily be playing the game and integrating the skills for yourself, but you can instead observe and educate yourself by watching the pros. And you don't necessarily often have time to go into the super micro stuff. It's always a huge benefit to be a good player. And so I'm looking to try to find more time to spend on actually doing that, as opposed to just sort of playing and not really focusing on learning anything. And then we can kind of turn it into a learning journey, and that's sort of the goal. So typically, I think one of the ways that's really effective to learn and to grow is to, obviously, you have to have focuses. I made a YouTube video quite a while ago, about this topic, pretty specific to learning and skill acquisition with someone that's an expert in that field, a medical doctor, in fact, Metadoc, who was actually, I think a lot of people don't know this, but he actually founded the Get Amped program, which, for those of you that don't know, he helped to professionalize aim training by essentially taking all of his understanding of coaching and skill acquisition and sort of and coaching the coaches, basically the aim coaches. So the mini gods, Viscosis of the world, from the Voltaic community, who then worked with him to create this product, because he didn't have, of course, the skill of expert aiming, but he had all of the knowledge in terms of how you should be coaching something like this. And so they worked together, they built that product out, and they were able to professionalize the process to then offer that up to professional teams and players, therefore expanding the horizons of aim training, and further integrating it as a part of the professional approach to becoming a great FPS player, or at least I think making a serious dent in that mission. So big ups to Metadoc for doing that, because I think he's somewhat of an unsung hero. But just a little bit of background there that most people probably don't know. So with that said, when you're looking to try to get better at stuff, you need to try to focus on small things at a time, until you can kind of bring that into unconscious competency, and then you can kind of move on to the next thing. And so Deadlock's an interesting game because there's a lot of different things to integrate. Just the early laning phase in of itself has a lot of different things to apply some conscious effort to optimize. Quite a lot of different tracks. So we'll probably be going into some of those tracks here. So now I've done my intro. I'm going to read some of the chat. This is always going to be the struggle for me. What's up, Apache? How's it going? Do you play this game a lot? From Eto. So I have played this game a lot, but as I said in the intro, a lot of it hasn't really been spent in consciously trying to get good at the game. It's mostly just been just for casual, lazy fun when I'm way too tired, and so I haven't done any effort like this, which is something that I would normally do if I was really trying to learn more quickly. You like the new Ooga Booga arc with the beard? Nice. Yeah, the beard's Wait, is this a bid? I don't know if this is a bid yet. Okay. All right. Okay, so first things first, let's let's look at a pro player. So I've got typically, I always default to Ido because I've got him on my friends list, and he's obviously one of the top players in North America. He's also really fun to watch. He's down here somewhere. It's kind of crazy that with the Steam's friends list because where's Ido? Because like I've had Steam since like 2003 or something, 2004, 2003. And so, and I don't tend to delete people. I don't think I've deleted really any people from my friends list. So it's kind of weird sometimes, like looking at the Steam friends list, I'm like, holy shit, I don't know who a lot of these people are. And some of them are like, holy crap, that's been a long time since I spoke to that person. Okay, so so you can see a lot of silver being played by Ido here. That definitely fits his play style a lot. A lot of pocket as well. Wonder if there's like a Lash might be a good one. Let's see what else do we have, because I feel like silver is pretty hard. I think pretty hard to play, pretty high skill ceiling, and I think Celeste's movement makes her a little bit non-standard. I want to find something a little bit more fundamental, a bit more standard. Even though Lash has a lot of movement options, those don't come online in a big way until you're sort of out of the early laning phase, I would say, for the most part. So Lash could be a good look here, and it's definitely a really strong hero for Ido. The Abrams also would have been a good one. The Mina possibly. I think I'm going to go with the Lash. So we're just going to be looking at the first 10 minutes of this replay, and then we're going to try to talk about like what are all of the major sort of, as I mentioned before, like the tracks of thinking, the things that we need to be looking at as our objectives. Connections. Yeah. I suppose so. It is a bid, confirmed. Okay, all right. Dude, the thing is, right, my DSLR camera is broken. It sucks. Whilst this is downloading, I guess I can show you guys. So here's the camera. I mean, I actually don't ever use this lens anymore, though I was thinking about starting to use it again because it's pretty nice in certain settings. But so basically, the issue is with the Sony a6000 is the shutter. As you can see here, like the lens is off, right? So if I turn this on, the shutter should open. You should be able to see through this, right? I just turn it on. And it's trying to open, but it can't. So then I get this message, which is going to be reversed for you guys, I guess. Camera error, turn it on and off. So turning it on and off doesn't help. So there's basically like, there's some tricks where you can get like a very fine instrument and maybe like unstuck the shutter. But if it's already doing this, it's probably fucked. And replacing the shutter is like $150 because I've got to open up the entire camera. And this happened to me on a previous one, and so that was like a couple of years ago. So this one's only lasted a couple of years before breaking. So pretty sad, considering that I use it for video as well. So it's when I'm using it, it's just open. I'm not turning it on or off. It's just open for ages. So it's not like I'm opening and closing the shutter all the time. So it's kind of sad that it only lasted for a couple of years. So pretty unfortunate. How is aiming in this game? So aiming in this game, so this is actually a really fun point actually, because aiming in this game there is a high skill ceiling. I wouldn't say it's as high as Counter-Strike or Quake. Obviously Counter-Strike has different aiming focuses to a game like this, which is more tracking heavy. It's a higher time to kill. So are we on Ido? Here we are, straight away. Lovely. But just to quickly answer this question, you can get really good in this game without having particularly notable aim. Like, you don't need very good aim, and which is kind of perfect for me right now because I don't have much time to kind of grind aim. So this game is so heavily about understanding how to play a MOBA, and then also having really good movement mechanics. I would say movement mechanics, that is much more important than your aim. Obviously, you want to have decent tracking aim, but that's like the focus is the tracking skill is going to get you pretty far in this game. Depends on who you're playing. Some characters have a lot more bang for your buck with good aim that you'll get. But either way, so okay, so the first thing we want to think about with laning is matchups. What we're seeing from Ida here is just taking the high ground. He hasn't picked a skill yet, but you'd expect that he would open up with a ground strike. It doesn't scale from the height yet, does it? Oh, it does. Okay, damage per meter. Okay, is there like a... Oh, the damage scaling improves at the level 3. So yeah, so he's going to be able to get more damage off of his stomp. So when we're in lanes, like we're always thinking about like good trades. And when people talk about that, they're usually referring to ability trades, damage, health trades that you're looking at, because the more weak, obviously, you get the opponent, the more limited their options become. They have to be a bit more defensive. They don't want to risk not being on the lane because if they have to go back to heal or if they're too passive, it gives you more control, and then you can start doing stuff like running boxes. You can start ganking because you've got all of this extra control on the lane that they can't challenge for because their health is kind of wrecked. So if you're trading really favorably, typically that's the idea, is that your abilities are going further than theirs in terms of the damage exchange. And so that's why we're seeing Ida, I think, up here at the beginning. And if we like look at the lane, who he's up against, this is another thing we've always got to be thinking about, because this helps us to understand itemization. It helps us to understand like also if we're in a winning or losing lane, and obviously also, you know, how aggressive we can be, where the power spikes are, etc. So against a Mina and a Bebop. So Bebop is interesting because Bebop's kind of dangerous due to the hook, and the hook is going to be able to set up Mina's love bites, and with the bomb and the love bites, there's a lot of burst damage on this lane. That's pretty dangerous. So we'll see how Ido decides to handle this. And he's playing with Abrams, and Abrams is obviously very easy to hook, but very tanky as well, and has pretty high damage threat. He gets closer with the shotgun and the siphon life, or whatever the fuck it's called. Yes, yeah, all the guns have different styles of aiming, and because it's all projectile based and etc. And yeah, this is, I mean, it's one of the things that makes this game pretty cool, is the level of diversity in all of these different weapons and everything else like that. But everybody can move. Even if you have less stamina bars, everybody can move. So you can see that, you know, to begin with, nothing too much of note. We pick up a headshot booster. So a headshot booster is nice because it gives you, obviously, you get a little bit of extra health with it, but the headshot bonus damage is nice because of the pressure, extra pressure that it helps to apply. So it's an item that's based off of pressure. So we want to try to compete in keeping them pressured and having, like, again, like this scenario where they're going to be stuck more towards their tower is, you know, part of the goal. So we want to be hitting those headshots as soon as it comes off cooldown as much as possible. I don't know if he procced it. I don't think he did. So just trying to deal with the wave. And another thing too is you don't want to take damage. So you want to be in a situation where you're preserving your life as much as possible whilst maximizing your output of damage to the enemy heroes, and also at the same time pushing the wave more successfully than them. So like these are multiple objectives that you have, you're trying to optimize between. So we didn't use a ground strike or any abilities there. And it looks like the Abrams was able to help to push them back there. And so Ido could have been more aggressive. And they're already very low. So this is like a very nice spot to be in, of course. Okay, so this is now going to be a good example of a game state, I suppose you could say, in early laning phase, where, you know, we have had really favorable damage exchanges. And you can see a nice combo there with the Flog and taking the opportunity to do even more damage. And then the opportunity comes to actually get the kill there. So this is an interesting spot, because do you need a lot of sustain in this kind of a situation is a question, or do you want to get more damage? If you get more damage, then obviously you might be able to, you know, have more pressure, and that's kind of what we're going for here. We're getting this extra spirit, so that's going to allow us to do more damage. If we feel like we're really dominating a lane, then, and we're not taking a lot of damage, or having like very favorable trades, as so far we have seen, then you're thinking more about getting more damage to win the lane harder. And also it's going to, you know, help to translate to keeping the waves pushed harder as well, which, you know, gives us a lot of opportunities. So another thing we can talk about very quickly here, although the Abrams is getting chased, I think Ido's going to go help him. I think Ido was thinking about some boxes, but reacting to the action, they were going aggressive, so he's trying to make sure that there's a good trade. Okay, really, okay, so this is a really small detail, but when the Bebop hooked him, Bebop instantly parried. So this is another thing, is like understanding when is the opponent going to what are the spots where it makes sense for a melee? Now, he was very, very low on HP, and with the hook coming in, a very, very common reaction is to quick melee somebody, and that's how you get like parries, and that's how, you know, there could have been an outplay against Ido had Ido actually done a quick melee. But this is something that you have to like train into your brain, is that when you don't need to melee, you should never take the risk if you can get the kill anyway. And it's harder, it's easier said than done. But just, you know, that just shows again Ido's skill there. And so one thing that's cool with Lash as well. So we think about the strength of an ability like Flog. He doesn't have to show himself very much, but when he does, he can do some burst damage, and that's a very efficient trade because he's not having to be in the open to connect his damage. He can just like pop out, hit the Flog, and he's got some burst damage, and he's in a spot there where he's got an efficient trade. So we try to bring all of these actions back to, or these dynamics back to, you know, these principles of like what is an efficient trade, which is one of the objectives on a lane, because it's how we get ahead. Just by the numbers, you know, if they're lower health than us and we're higher health, they have limited options, we have more options. Flat damage, very good early when the guns are trashed. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a great heal. A great point, yeah. Yeah, also making the point that it heals. Yeah, so this is another reason why it's much like if you play a lane well with Lash here and you've got like a decent matchup, a decent lane partner, you can actually, you know, we get Quicksilver reload second here. So this is going to be, you know, us being able to invest more into damage and to begin to accelerate our trajectory in getting further ahead on souls, because we don't have to invest in the sustain or the vitality items yet. So this is a benefit we get. So we're looking to get more ahead. So, you know, the lane is kind of neutral at the moment in terms of where the creeps are. But again, can't get too close. Abram's kind of charging them forwards. Okay, now what we've done is we've created space. We've got the bridge buffs coming up. So this is perfect timing. We've pushed them away on our lane, actually. Something else to understand here is there is kind of inherent advantage because we have the jump pad access to the bridge buff, whereas they don't. They would have to really push the lane all the way up to be able to have this access. And so Ida's going to get preferential treatment on the bridge buff, and he'll be able to collect some boxes here as well. Now, something that the Abrams could be doing is maybe freezing the lane, depending on how long the Lash is going to be away. And this is something that is really important to be mindful of, because you can freeze the lane, and then your teammate who's running boxes or doing other stuff is not going to miss out too much on the experience, but actually gets ahead more in the souls overall to bring that into the advantage for the lane. So at this level of play, what often happens that you probably won't see in other levels of play is that you will get the awareness is higher, and they'll see you leaving the lane as an opportunity to isolate you and potentially get a pick on you. So that's kind of what happened there with Ido, where those people left the lane. And we've got the Infernus from mid now coming onto the lane as well. So this is a moment of a lot of pressure. We're like 5 minutes into the lane. We do have that gun buff that Ido picked up. Maybe Lash is not the best hero in the world for it, but, you know, we take it. So as opposed to just sitting under the tower, we're getting some boxes, and we return. And we get a nice opportunity there to get in the Death Slam. I love the melee there. I don't think I've actually noticed people already doing that with Lash all that much, but obviously it changes the timing a little bit. And he gets to kind of also figure out, is his ground strike going to actually hit? Or are they going to be TPing away and everything else, and would he waste it? So, okay. Overall, I think like pretty positive trades here. And we will respawn in. The Infernus returns back to his mid lane. And not too much tower damage was actually done. So the Death Slam really came in absolutely clutch in making sure that the lane stays in a good state. Ido is a top 10 player in North America. This is an Eternus 6 lobby. Might be other top players in this game, maybe. Lord and M, he's been on top 2 teams in North America. But yeah, Ido is one of the most skilled players in North America. One of the things that stands out a lot with Ido also is his movement. And he plays a lot of like playmakers and frontliners as well. Yeah, Ido's mega efficient. It actually is some of the most fun is watching Ido play heroes that have very limited movement. That's some of the best stuff because you get to really see him eke out every bit of value from the movement mechanics. And it stands out so much because you just see him, like for example when he's on like Graves. I was watching a Graves VOD of him a couple days ago, and I was just like blown away by like how he was able to chase people or get away from people in ways that like don't seem like they make sense. But yeah, the movement mechanics really is something that's super important, and I don't have time to do it today, but the two focuses that I actually have personally at the moment is improving my early laning and also my application of movement mechanics. So we've got the Sinners spawning at 8 minutes there. I've kind of lost a little bit of focus on the lane. Again, the lane was pushed up, so he was able to get his Sinners for free. And also the Bebop's roaming too, so there's not really much presence here on this lane. So when we get to the 10-minute mark, that's kind of usually where you would say the laning phase, early laning phase officially ends. Oh, so he's perfectly timed that to catch the Mina. Again, it's like expert stuff because Mina obviously has the ability to TP away, so you got to buy time for the TPs to cool down to go away. Although he still dies, so we're pretty much at the end of this early laning phase, but I think we saw some interesting things. I might want to do another one here as well to, maybe I'll pick one where he's playing Graves or maybe somebody that's will have a little bit of a harder time so that we can kind of see more of the box run timings and stuff like that. Just coming back onto the lane to try to punish here. Like really good movement there. So satisfying to watch. True Nextra. I actually, in my head, I was like, hang on. How did he miss that? Because, yeah, that's so true. Okay, so... And by the way, like, if you guys think this stuff is helpful, let me know. Because there's a lot of really good content creators, obviously, that are in Eternus already. Or people like Deathy and Poshy Pop that are, like, actually pro level in their play. They do a lot of educational stuff, and so I learn a lot from those guys. And so for me, I'm like, I don't know if it's actually useful for me to try to do educational stuff, which obviously I've done in a lot of other games. But I do like to do it because I like to do it in concurrence. Is that a word? In concurrence with my own learning journey or process. I think that's a fun way to do it. But
headed to Broadway.
I guess that's like the take that I have that maybe they wouldn't, is that they're already kind of there at that level, whereas I'm trying to do it with others at the same time. All right, so we're past the 10 minutes, so let's jump into another one that he's played. We'll pick a less movement-oriented hero, perhaps. And then Silver has movement options, kind of nice. So does Pocket. So does Mina. So does Calico. You kind of get the vibe as to like who Ido plays. Paradox, that could be a fun one. This was a loss as well. What happened in this game? Who was in this game? Zera. Okay, Zera's. I think Zera's the guy that plays. Yeah, he plays 1,000. Oh no, sorry, 100 games on every hero is like a thing he's doing on his stream. Vegas, another top player. Yeah, so he's always playing with good players. He's got an Ivy game, Shiv game. Maybe I'll do this Graves game. Let's do the Graves game. Because Graves doesn't have a lot of movement options. One thing when I watched a Graves game of his previously that I was really impressed by was how, despite that, he still did like a lot of box running in a losing lane. So hopefully we get to see that in this one. Also for the people asking about aiming, well, Grace says auto shoot, so auto aim. Okay, this is interesting. So Venator's cigar or whatever, like cigarette, is actually animated. But does anyone else have animated stuff in their portraits? Is it just Venator? I mean, I see some animations in the background here, but I don't know. Guy's arm. Oh, I missed that. Yeah, good shift movement is bonkers. That's true. That's true. Together is one of the people to watch for that. Okay, so let's find Ido then. On the... Am I on the right team? No. There we go. On the Graves. So he's playing with a Lash, so this will be interesting. Graves, one of the heroes that has 2 stamina, so somewhat limited in the capacity to move with those 2 stamina bars at default. Okay, so let's you know, we'll talk about some of the same stuff. Obviously, we're talking about efficient trades. It's another reason why I think Graves is interesting, because she kind of doesn't ramp very quickly into the early laning phase, as some heroes might. Like when, you know, Lash gets Flog online, even when it's lower damage, it's you know, he can get pretty active. And obviously also the stamina limitation also means that in addition to that, you don't really have the capacity to go too aggressive, because if you get in trouble, you're kind of done. So you have to be very cautious with Graves. And so we get the skulls first, which is like really important. The Jar of the Dead, because that's kind of your damage. That's all your damage. And so very good use of wall jumps, I think, is something that is really important to note with Ido. Like, for example, we saw a wall jump there off of that kind of little pedestal for that. I don't know, the foliage, I don't know what to call that. But he's able to dash once off of that backwards, and he's almost at the tower again. So it gives you a lot of options in terms of movement when you don't have much movement to work with. You can get back pretty quick. So trying to like really pressure this bridge, which is important for sure. The bridge control gives you quite a lot, having that high ground. Now, okay, one thing we didn't talk about is, like, you know, what are we up against here? So obviously the Victor's quite tanky and difficult to deal with in that respect. And then Silva does a lot of burst damage herself, but she needs to be relatively close to you. So I would say definitely somewhat of a challenging lane situation. You've got to be worried about the burst damage. And keeping Victor honest, you know, he does have to get close, so grasping hands will probably be quite useful in this lane, because as we can see, both of the heroes want to get close to you. And that's kind of where the most kill threat is when they get close to you. So as long as you can kind of keep your distance, you're in a good spot. So managed to do a pretty good job at pushing the wave, which makes sense. Victor and Silva don't kill the creeps super fast right away. They'd have to probably itemize a little bit to improve that. That is a weakness of Silver, actually. Okay, so now we were chasing the kill and we're in trouble. Oh, but Ido movement. We'll see if you can escape this one. I would not survive this situation. like he's got bombed again. He has survived a lot. So just the delay there is pretty huge. We get a good chunk of damage on both players. But yeah, so this is great. You know, we're not off to a great start. We were winning the lane, but we're not off to a great start in terms of you know, those initial exchanges. We actually died. The only issue if we die though is if we miss waves. So I don't think we are missing a wave just yet. The wave is currently at the tower, and both players are arriving at the same time. So you can see Ido being a little as efficient as possible, understanding this, where the wave is, and picking up as many boxes, and still understanding, you know, in what time do I have to get back to the wave. So right now, you know, Lash is on the wave. I'm not sure if he's, you know, how aggressive he's being. So yeah, it looks like he wasn't really shooting the creeps, because we still had a bunch alive there. And if we look at the soul discrepancy, we got 2.6k against 2.6k for Silver, 2.9 against 2.4 for Lash and Victor. So pretty close, and we were able to push that wave. It allows us to attempt a steal at these respawn of these creeps. Respawning again there for the second time. They first appear at the 2-minute mark when all the crates appear. And this is another thing I don't think that I talked about is that, you know, one of the really important things you can do to get ahead is once you know, this is one of the reasons why we want to push waves, why we want to take efficient damage exchanges, is so that then we were able to steal the resources of our opponents to just, you know, get a little bit further ahead. So a pretty dangerous spot right now. We do have the extra stamina, so this is really important that we get that extra stamina online because we need the movement options. Unfortunately, we lose the bag though, and we will die. And Lash is probably going to be fine. He's at half health, so that's not too bad. There is one dynamic we haven't been able to talk about so far in the early laning phases, which is you know, gank opportunities, because we just haven't really been in that situation. Obviously, it doesn't always happen, but if you are winning a lane and the conditions are met for an efficient gank, because if you go for a gank attempt, you want it to be successful. Otherwise, it might be a waste of time. And then if you waste your time, you're then falling behind on the souls, and you don't want to obviously be doing that. So, you know, there are certain conditions that make it more likely that it will not be a waste of time. We haven't seen that situation just yet. And we can talk about that in a moment, though, because you guys might be wondering, well, what is it then? what is it then? There's still like just a lot of scrappiness in this lane. Again, these heroes want to get close to you. And you can see that all this time, like, Ido actually saved all of his stamina bars, which is actually pretty remarkable. This is very scary. Lash is on one, and the dive, of course, you know, comes because Victor has his ult online. So this is another thing you have to be aware of, is when are the ult power spikes happening? When I always forget, type it in the chat if you guys know offhand, but there's a amount of souls where the ult will come online, and that's a really important power spike because that can change everything in the lane. And this is why you obviously have to know what the ult is of your opponent, what it does, so you know what kind of play they'll be looking to make. And with Victor, as he gets a resurrection, shocking reanimation, I think it's called, his ability, it then means that you have to be worried about dives, because he can just take a death under the tower. Okay, so it's just actually, so he was using stamina, it's just not showing us his stamina depleting, because he's definitely using stamina here. So, really nice movement though to try to juke. But this is a losing lane. This is a losing lane, and look how far behind we are actually. What's interesting is that we saw that they win this game, so it almost makes you want to watch for the recovery. But I did say we're focusing just on the early laning phase. Okay, so coming off the zip, we've actually communicated a swap with the Page. We're losing this lane really hard. So, and we go on the Mirage. You can see that Grace does literally no damage. There's basically no damage. So, you know, fantastic. This is one of the reasons why I wanted to watch the Graves, right? Because her early lane is not particularly good. Just again, the damage and movement limitations. She doesn't really scale up in the early laning phase, I think, as notably as other heroes. Yeah, okay, 3.6k souls. So that's what you got to watch out for. That's what you got to be ready for. Okay, so this has actually been a horrendous early game, and to be honest, it's kind of nice to see because, you know, we will have experience sucking in the early laning phase and getting really far behind. Like, look up, Victor's more than double the souls we have. That's actually so horrible. And they still win this game. And it's happening to Ido, so one of those players in North America. So, you know. So diving in with the Billy. Okay, really good damage from the Jar of the Dead there. That gives us some good pressure, but like you can see, this is a struggle though. This is like, we might still die. We're probably still dying here. In fact, both are gonna die. How do they win this game? What's up, Double Wit? How's it going? I appreciate that. Which commentary? Which game? I do a lot of games. I have done a lot of games, at least.
They destroyed the Guardian on yellow.
I will put this VOD stuff on my YouTube channel, probably the Deadlock one. Because I have a DDK Deadlock channel that I'm going to start populating stuff from the stream on. Counter-Strike. Okay, well, okay, you know, there'll be I should be doing some Counter-Strike next month. Well, actually, there's one thing that's confirmed and one thing that's like basically confirmed. So you might see quite a bit of me in Counter-Strike World next month, which is pretty exciting. And who do you have like Are you someone that like watched In the Face It TV days, or what's been your exposure? Because I should be doing this stuff with you know, my old duo. So you know, you get treated to that. I think it's kind of missing in the scene a bit, like what James and I have kind of brought, I guess. So I hope that, you know, when people see us again, that they'll be happy to see the contrast between that and maybe the current approaches. Okay, so we're out of the early laning phase. I feel like, honestly, there wasn't really a lot to talk about here. Ida took a lot of fights, and obviously he's 0 and 6. Honestly, I actually feel a little shocked. Obviously, Ida's an incredible player and actually win this game. Let's skip over here just for shits and giggles. Okay, see, look, he's ahead of almost the entire enemy team at this point in the game later on, and he's 6 and 11, so obviously clearly having a lot of impact. So yeah. But it just gives you faith, right? If you have a really shit early laning phase, it's not the end of the world, as long as you can know how to recover. Oh, and I didn't actually go over what conditions might want to be met to look for those ganks in the early laning phase. So obviously you want a winning lane. You don't want to be ganking if they're at your tower, because you're just going to concede your tower and your Guardian, and then that's not a good thing to do. That's going to be a net loss. So what you want to do is look at the minimap and look at the top of the screen and see what the health bars are on the enemy heroes around you, and also your teammates. So if you see like fairly low enemies and your teammates are fairly strong and your teammates are like kind of winning that lane, that's a really good lane to gank on, because your teammates have enough health to dive with you, and in addition to that, they're low enough that then there's a you know, an exchange of health with the 3v2 that should amount to you guys actually getting the kill and converting a tower off of it, a Guardian. So that's a classic condition that makes a lot of sense to look for a gank in the early laning phase before, you know, that 10-minute mark, if you can see something like that. So let's you know, let's jump on something myself, I suppose. I'll have to do the movement stuff another day. There's some movement tech that I need to learn, but like some of the more like the super advanced stuff. But for now, I think.
I could help, but phylacteries don't just show up on their own.
Time for bed.
What should I play? I feel like it'd be cool to have like a Twitch integration where I could like get you guys to basically select the hero pool for me. You're definitely supposed to lose that. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. That's definitely not a start that you should recover from. However, you know, with the combat mechanics with the souls and stuff like that, like, it just takes the opponent's misplaying a little bit if your team's still playing really fundamentally strong for you to be able to like kind of come back. And I think also with the random compositions you get in matchmaking, I think that also can impact things massively. Like, I've seen games where I've had where we don't get a frontliner, and the other team has like, you know, multiple, and they're like just hard tempoing us, and it's like, oh, it's kind of hard to stop this, you know. We don't have any way to deal with this. So some of the compositions, I think, can be kind of gnarly in matchmaking as well. All right, so like, what should we play? I could pick random. This would be an absolute disaster. There are some heroes that I don't have experience with. Some. Pocket could be fun. Geist is really strong at the moment. Throw her in there. Celeste I haven't played yet. She seems pretty awesome.
This will be a hunt.
Talon has been pretty reliable for me. I do, to be honest, want to climb a little bit as well, so I'll just get Talon up there. I'm pretty comfortable with him at the moment. Yeah, there's 37 heroes right now. There will be 38, I think, once Apollo gets unlocked, which will be in 3 hours from now. I'm actually going to be on a call, I think, and I have other stuff for the rest of the day, I believe. So I will be... My hard out is in like 2 hours. So this game is in is I don't know if you consider it closed alpha or closed beta at this point. I think it's kind of hard to know. It feels more like a closed beta now. It feels like the game is very well developed. But basically what you need to do is to get access to this game is you need to have someone who has it on your friends list. They launch the game and they click invite a friend and they can invite you from their Steam list. That's all you have to do. And so there is so basically anyone can gain access to the game. There is a mega thread on Reddit, on the Deadlock Reddit, that allows people to kind of just go there and find somebody to add them and then invite them. So there's like a way to do it. And that's what's interesting because the numbers for the game right now are really good. And I'm like, that's actually quite a barrier to access. Like there's a lot of people that don't want a stranger. I don't know anybody that has the game and they don't want to like add a stranger to gain access. I think that's not something that people are interested in doing, a lot of people at least. So I'm curious what the numbers will look like once we finally get out of the closed invite system. Because I didn't answer your question though. So your question was how old is the game? It's about 18. So they first allow people to play this to public almost 2 years ago. About 20 months ago. So it's been playable. And it's night shift. We've been doing shows for this game for almost 18 months, I think. And we're really trying to be the early adopters, early supporters of the scene. What's up, Tyler? Thank you. I hope you're doing well as well. Okay, so we got Talon. Talon's pretty fun, very bursty. In the mid lane, which is actually really nice for Talon because maybe it doesn't make a super huge difference, but you know you're more quickly able to bird or use the ultimate, the guided owl, to either the left or the right lane. And if you're able to get kills with this, you can really scale up the damage really fast because you get plus 10 spirit per kill, so that can become kind of overwhelming at a certain point. Like for example, the 4800 investment gets you to 38 spirit, which you know I can get to that in 4 kills with it. But obviously it's easier said than done. You have to get either the kill or an assist, I think. But yeah, the early laning phase, I'm gonna try to play it well. You know, this is actually a build that Hoot used in one of the DLNSs. I added healing right to it because healing right's gonna be useful if I'm gonna be in a lane where the damage traits aren't particularly good. The interesting thing about this lane initially is that okay, I'm playing with Rem. So Rem has, with the little helpers, a way to buff up the minions, the troopers, and it becomes actually very powerful in taking control of the waves and the wave pressure and getting the Guardian down quickly. So we should have a fairly push lane. And because their Viper's pretty like squishy, as is the Celeste, I think, although she has the barrier that's really nice against the arrows. We should in theory be like having like pretty good like damage exchanges. With that said, Celeste can be like really hard to hit sometimes because she's so floaty and fast. And I don't need to be exposing myself. So I'm already like going a little bit too aggressive, exposing myself to damage. You're not in a rush here. You're not like in a rush. I don't know how that arrow hit that, but cool. So I'm gonna get the healing right because this lane is a little bit active. The potential for burst damage and such is pretty nasty.
The thrill of the hunt.
If Viper gets close, and then you got the Celeste bursting me down as well. I can't run boxes yet, so the boxes are gonna spawn like right now. The 2-minute mark. I don't mind that they're like so pushed at this point, to be honest.
Who doesn't love a surprise?
Making sure to get the creeps there. So we got a gank from Abrams. I didn't even see that on the minimap because I'm so focused on all the stuff that's in front of my face. So get some of these boxes. And I obviously have the zip to get back onto lane.
Charging. This is the perfect spot.
So that was a very early gank from Abrams, to be honest, but it was pretty nice.
Disengaging.
So far the damage exchange is kind of nice. I should be really getting my items. And Abrams is back on the lane for some reason. So I don't know why he's ganking so much at this point. Like, the first gank was nice, obviously, but this is like actually necessary. So there's that burst damage I was talking about from the Viper. And now I gotta... Well, if I get an arrow online here, that would be pretty insane. I'm trying to look for the Viper on the minimap. I don't see him. I'm gonna just prioritize farming instead.
My aim must be true.
I guess he may have gone back to the base to heal actually.
If they come.
Oh, I missed. So Rem helping me out. So just gonna try to get a couple boxes here. Could probably get more. We'll be respawning soon. Oh shit, I missed. Ouch. So you can see the burst damage is kind of nasty, so... And the healing troop is going to come onto lane. Oh no, he's cancelled it. Can't really be here. I was hoping the Viper would come there, but surely they die from the dive there. Grim Troop would have killed the Viper. There we go. And Celeste is going to be really low if she gets killed as well. So the two of them die for that dive. To be honest, that's really worth it. That is really worth. So the question is, should I be... I can like kill these creeps and then try to run some boxes again. This guy is, I mean, this is what Viper does.
I see.
Okay, well I have ult, so... But is he weak enough? He's not quite weak enough. Get another like arrow on him, he's gonna be ultable. No. Okay, so now I'll like look at the top and see if anyone else is weak. So Lash is really weak. Which lane is Lash on? Or is he fallen back already? Lash is weak. He is on the left lane.
Run while you still can.
ult them on their tower and they die.
Okay, well I couldn't find the lash.
Contact.
Damn. This lane is getting kind of way more wrecked than I thought. I guess like I just underestimated the Celeste and the Viper. I mean, Viper is very good on early lane, so it makes sense, I guess.
My sights.
So like licked him with a power shot there. Charge shot.
Ready for 2 a.m. Metro ride. They can't run forever.
So where?
Trap is set.
Nope. Nope, 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 nope.
If I stay on the ground, I'm dead.
No. Nice, you got him.
I see.
Oh, she's so low.
Trap out.
Nice, we got a man fox.
Left sleep.
Well, I got a couple kills out of it, so that's fine. Got a couple kills out of it. Okay, well, doing all right in terms of overall souls, I guess, but my team is we're not the best spot. In this spot, I should pretty consider like should I go to another lane, but I think my lane is under quite a lot of threat here. Rems might get dive. So
Hello.
lane is like getting fucked.
Leave the prey to me.
Might be able to get the Viper here. Oh, that's so awesome, dude.
Left sleeping.
He dashed into it. I was very confident I was going to be able to hit him, but he dashed into it. It's just actually epic as fuck.
I have eyes on them. Contact.
Going to shop.
Boss has arrived.
Okay, bridge buff us up. I think Rem got it. I'm gonna catch the wave here.
Sending arrow.
Boo.
Let's see what you
Not been
catch.
using enough of my traps, to be fair.
No.
Okay, that was a bit scary.
The spirit urn is waiting to be claimed. I can get something of quality. I see.
Yeah. Have you considered playing this game? Killer Smasher?
Taking it.
Pull back.
Strength.
And I'm out. I'm catching this wave now.
trap. They destroyed the Guardian on green.
Well, couldn't really stop that, so that's fine.
And I will
That kind of sucks actually because I need to buy. I need to buy right now. There's get my boundless power spike.
I don't go
Oh,
selling these to just
I didn't have enough.
Push green way up, please. I got the urn. The fuck? Let's go.
A green walker is under attack.
Make play urn.
Snares have changed. Setting snare.
My sense is like so fast with this current setup. It's crazy. It's like 20 cm with this.
Charging. A blue walker is under attack.
We're actually going for this. I guess we have the Graves
Leading the target.
situation.
Let's see what you catch, my friend. Taking the shot.
Oh, she's actually gonna get wrecked here. Nice. Oh shit.
Finding another angle. Firing. If they come, I'll be ready. They've taken our yellow.
I'm out of here. All right, so get down this now online. So I can help this mid lane out.
Engaging. I see you.
Okay, not much I can do there. Okay, Mina's pushing yellow right now. There we go.
A blue walker is under attack. Trap out. Arrows not. There's no hiding from me. The hunter strikes.
Oh, stuck.
Simple. Trap is set.
Nice. That sucks that Lash was there. He saved Celeste. I don't even know if he knows that that's what he was doing, but he did. He saved her ass right there.
Our yellow walker is under attack. Saints. Forever.
So my aim kind of sucks, but it doesn't matter.
Let's get this party started.
Ah, dude. That's unfortunate.
Make Viper suffer for her actions. My arrow will strike true.
He heals. He heals so much.
Who doesn't love a surprise?
Okay, so wasting time here now. Should probably just like... Oh shit. Oh shit. Didn't know they were that close. Actually kind of happy with the movement there. Excuse me. Any... Nope, no sinners here. Actually, the sinners just spawned, I think.
They're in my sense. The hunter strikes.
That wasn't even close to an execute. True. True. I feel like Venator, like, he feels like someone I'm gonna kill, and he's like low, and then he just instantly gets all his health back, and I'm always confused how he does it, because I don't think any of his abilities heal him. But I haven't played him yet, so also not entirely sure. I'm just gonna follow this blindly, this build, right now.
Broadway's under attack.
You help on blue?
Contact.
Okay, well, Celeste's gone. She gone.
Good work. Wooded. Charging. I see you.
Oh, I actually killed her with that. That's crazy. Oh, but. Okay, 2 dead. Let's clean up this wave.
Let's push York.
Try to get the wall jump there, but I missed.
There. Taking the shot.
Oh, I missed.
Taking it.
No. If I hit that, I get the bird on her, and all is well. Okay, Lash is here. Dangerous.
Setting snare. A green walker is under attack. There will be no escape.
Oh, fuck. Nope. Are they... Oh.
Come. Hope you're ready. Not while I'm around. I have eyes on.
I wanted to get a silver so badly, like, seriously, that was sad.
Let's push green.
So counterspell's gonna be nice for the death slams.
I see the enemy.
It feels like we're pretty far ahead, but I don't know. Yeah, looking to counterspell the death slams, largely, to be honest. If I see a petrifying bowler, that would be nice as well. If I'm also like, if the Celeste shit's coming towards me, her ult, also looking to counterspell that. Counterspells is basically a great replacement also for debuff, reducer, or remover, dispel, magic, whatever.
I see them. Fire. This hunt is over.
Where did he go? Where did this guy go? Can I find him?
Viper.
Viper's gonna die. Most likely.
Always have an escape plan. Need to find higher ground.
Oh, that's not what I wanted. Like, I don't know where I'm going. I'm just trying to escape.
Engaging.
Oh shit. Let's help Jay. Where is everyone? Like, literally, what's going on?
Hello. Aiming. Leading the target. Arrows knocked.
It was ambitious, I gotta say. Ambitious. Very ambitious. I don't know what I'm doing there. I'm just like kind of brainless. Do you guys ever do that where you put yourself in a position which makes 0 sense and you can't get yourself out of it? It's like sometimes I've had this super embarrassing thing happen where you're like in a conversation and you're talking and you're kind of like going off in a direction that no one cares about. It doesn't make any sense. But you become aware, but you can't stop yourself. And then that's kind of what that feels like. sometimes when you make like a play in the game. It's like a very similar thing where it's like none of this makes any sense, but I don't know how to stop. Like, you know, you could just leave. Like, obviously, you could just leave, but for some reason you just don't. You're not able to. It's like there's like some psychological thing there. I don't know what it is. If it's like sunk cost fallacy or like what exactly the issue is there with that. Oh.
Just as I planned.
It's like a railgun, kind of. Oh, I just literally just dashed into that. Oh shit! No, 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 dude. I know he's like aiming. I'm like, how can I juke this? How can I juke this? With one talent with one stamina bar. Yeah, I mean, I guess if I had a teammate with me there, I think what really baited me into it was the silver, because it feels like I can just chunk the silver and just easily win a 1v1, because I can kill her before she goes into the werewolf form, lichen form. Thank you, Mike Wicker. I appreciate it. Is there anything in particular that you've been digging over the years? Okay, so I'm pretty close to Surge of Power, so let's get that online, shall we? In fact, is there a way to hit all three hit? No. So this camp is really close together. You can actually melee all three if you stand in the perfect spot, but I think by the time I'm able to like position myself into that perfect spot, I think I've already wasted a lot of time.
Charging.
Cool. Alright, so let's get the Surge of Power, and then we can help on green.
A blue walker is under attack.
Okay, we lost the
Destroyed our
mid
blue
walker. Fuck it.
walker.
Okay, well, minute till the urn. I don't know what to do about these people, to be honest. This is fun. Nope, leave me alone. Why am I not counterspelling this shit? There's so much shit going on in here.
Prey is around here somewhere.
So much shit going on. That was like a very weird engagement. It's just like it's the way that happens. To me, it's weird that they pushed to the base guardians. I guess what's also actually weird is that they actually got them. Like, I guess that's even more weird. It just because there's only like 2 or 3 of them, and they just pushed all the way to our base guardians. We're all missing / you know, able to easily gank that. I guess I just didn't expect them to just do that, and I was like, oh, there's no point even going there. They've killed the walker. I would just farm because surely they'll go back. You know, surely they'll go back. Okay, so the urn is up.
I see Lash.
Okay.
The spirit urn is waiting to be claimed.
See Lash.
Taking aim. Hello. I have you now.
Well, counterspelled it at least.
Strikes.
Yeah! No, I missed it, and I didn't. Oh no, no! I missed every counterspell. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, dude. I missed missed everything there. That's crazy. My brain is just not like used to using it.
They claimed the urn.
So, but that's like the level of reps you got to get right, where you've played enough. Where, you know, I've had moments like this now where I'm like, okay, when I get counterspell, and I'm against certain heroes that it is for, you use it. Like you actually try to parry the ability. classic move. But I love how mostly my deaths have been people overextending to get them. I think all but one, which was around that walker. And then my death gets traded. With that said, though, we are now like falling behind, which is not great. It's 14 and 3. This wipe is 14 and 3. Okay, well I guess I need to defend this walker.
Greenwich is under attack.
Arrows. I see you.
Your mind and spirit will be reforged.
Aiming.
Okay, well. This is kind of a rough game. It feels like we're not really playing the objectives either. When I was like looking at the urn, I was thinking to myself, I want to get the urn so we can run it, but at the same time, I'm Talon, and this is not really something I probably should be doing because I'm just going to put myself in a pretty bad spot positionally, and you know, I need to be on the outsides of fights, and you know, I don't think me running the urn is optimal, to be honest. They're stealing our sinners.
I have eyes on them. Let them
Or
run.
can I find her? Is there a world?
Save them.
She would go to heal. Oh, she's still on the lane. Okay. Imagine if I get her there.
Game's over.
Sending arrow.
No, I missed everything. I'm fucked. No. So close to having an extra one. Ah, that sucks, man. Everything sucks there. That really sucks. Stamina mastery instead. Great drone pilot, yeah. I felt like I took some like good routes there as well. I really did. It feels like my team just sort of didn't get we just haven't been active enough in terms of map control and just objectives. Like the waves are just not pushed, which, you know, we have Graves on our team, and you know, a really easy way to just keep waves pushed is you just, you know, if your team is not pushing anything, you just drop the ult and it just will push the wave for free, which is, I think, pretty amazing. It forces them to have to bring somebody out, which then they become gankable, or they, you know, you can just abuse that in this game state. So now the urn is up, which we really need. I think that should be a comeback urn at this point, right? Maybe very close. Abrams is really good. He's definitely very strong still right now, and so I think he's definitely a good pick.
They will return, and we must be ready. We have you now. Gain mystery.
Channeling the devil. Bullets aren't gonna hurt him.
They won't know what hit them. Target's marked.
Got my time, dude. Put you in the mouth. Shit.
Very impressive.
Ren's support is invaluable. Comes for them.
I have eyes on them. We try.
Oh, right. You can. Oh, it just keeps bouncing. That's insane.
It's time
Okay, well,
for
I'm leaving.
discretion, not valor.
It's gonna explode on me. What's going on?
Agree
Dude,
or
Venator's
agree under
50k,
attack.
dude. I haven't played Venator yet. He seems insane. In every like match I've played, he just seems like ridiculous.
Excellent choice.
He seems ridiculous.
Defend the stronghold.
Charging.
Okay. Is there anything we can do about that? Probably not. Hello. I pressed parry. I swear. I swear before the court of law, I swear before the judge, I pressed parry there. Okay, well, we went from like being in a spot where we were winning / close to being absolutely fisted. And initially it was the fact that for some reason Viper's 17 and 7. Who has he been owning? Who has he been destroying? I don't think I've really died to him, so I mean, it'd probably be the. I mean, no one has like no one's really feeding. I wouldn't say like based on just looking at the stats, no one's getting absolutely fisted. Everyone's kind of like the same spot. Yeah, Billy's such a great shout actually for fighting games. Yeah, the mind games with Billy and meleeing and parrying and stuff is pretty huge, and the fact that you're able to just run people down and be super oppressive. It kind of feels like, when you're like like when you've got somebody in a mix-up game, where you're applying like mega pressure, like you're like a glass cannon character and just applying like insane pressure, and it's just you just have them just like they have to like constantly defend, and just, it kind of maybe like a similar feeling to that.
They're in my sights.
Oh shit.
I see. Arrows. Goodbye.
Could not escape at close range. It's like literally the worst place to be against Celeste. That's like where she wants to fight. That's all her abilities. Yeah, this game seems pretty over. These just like terrible fights. This was a game I think where just the objective mid game was horrendous from us, and it allowed them to get really far ahead because they've got characters where they can just swoop in, play these picks and tear us apart, as opposed to us playing objectives and playing team fights. And I think we gave objectives to them quite a lot too. So I don't really know,
We need to stop them from progressing further.
what you can do there. At that point, they just started pushing they had like much better wave push as well. And we have like a good comp to have wave push. Both Rem and Graves I think actually makes our wave push better than theirs. And I don't know.
I won't stop until all of them are dead.
Oh. Wrecked.
Maybe now people will start taking me seriously.
Defend the stronghold.
Damn, that sucked. That sucked.
Oh, like I
All right,
never
well
had a
let's
fight
look
for my
at the
life
damage
before.
situation. Let's have a look. Obviously, Viper just wrecked my entire team somehow. It's really weird because like I wasn't on the receiving end of that, so I don't really know like how that was happening exactly. Damn, that was an Oracle 1 game. Jesus. Okay, so well, I mean, Talon, you're supposed to do a lot of damage, so that this just makes sense, I suppose. But there was definitely a period in that mid game where I wasn't really, because we weren't really team fighting or in the objective game. I don't think I was really able to have a lot of impact. as Talon has to obviously be able to support team fights or really with the damage. Yeah, Viper basically just crushed everything. It was literally was just Viper, and then Venator came online later on. It looks like this is a classic game where it kind of looks like he was just farming. He literally was just buying orange items and farming, and then just appeared at one point and was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna just start killing people now." So yeah, pretty gross game in that respect. Maybe we go away from Talon.
I've been doing a lot of thinking, and I got a good thing going.
Haven't played Venator yet.
Why risk it?
Who should I play? Get Shiv in there. Although I don't know how to do the Shiv movement yet.
The dead have been making
Get the
a
Graves
whole
in
lot of
there.
demands lately.
I'll do
Keep
whatever
up.
it takes to save Miss Shelley.
Yeah, this will do. Token the priest. I guess I could give it a go. Playing for the first time. I don't know like what builds are people using, just pure damage, I guess. I don't know if that's like necessarily the correct way to play him, but maybe it works, I suppose, and I guess it works in matchmaking. This seems like a bit more of a balanced build. I've seen most people I've seen playing this character, they get like one orange item and it's like bullet life steal. Okay, so let's. Okay, so just grenade the gut shots, knocks people back. Do we use this for damage, or do we just use this for stunning people in certain spots when they're like close to a wall?
I'll travel. They will be ready for the fight.
This is just like a trap. Okay.
I don't plan.
So I guess it's all about the ult, I suppose.
Traffic in mercy.
Jesus, dude.
Their death will save lives.
A buckshot build. As if for when you get all this shit online. So how good is the stun? Oh. Will it give me Venator? That's the question. No, Shiv. Probably just use like a together build. Oh yeah, that's what I have there already. So depending on your lane, like slice and dice versus knives is definitely like a choice that you can make. Doorman and McGinnis. It's kind of annoying.
I see you.
I can't like that. Dude, I just want to get on the bridge. That's all I want.
I'm gonna watch them. Let's play.
Where is she? Oh, she's there. No. Dude, that was so awful. So telegraphed. I could have just quick melee'd him and then he would have died. Please kill him. Please. Honestly, it looked like the most newbie exchange I've ever seen from me. The fact that they're taking so much damage is such a gift, and the way I just didn't use that. Very sad.
Stay strong, buddy.
She is low.
Almost had him.
Did I not hit the doorman then? Did that not hit the doorman again? What? It's crazy. That was straight on him. Oh my goodness, left the lane. So here, I should not be just taking damage. I could easily just get some boxes and get these creeps. Like, that could be something I'm doing instead. Boxes, boxes. I'm thinking like Oracle 2 or something right now. So
They're gonna bleed.
not absolutely dog shit, but like definitely dog shit.
Let's take out
But also I think it makes for a nice little learning journey for the stream too. Whoa, he's really going for this. No, dude. I couldn't right click. I was trying to right click so desperately there.
Might actually just base real quick.
They're gonna bleed.
Don't mind the blood on that. It's gently used.
I really want to like just let them free farm this, but yikes. I mean, it's McGinnis. Like, you know, what can I do? So much resistances on this though. To look at what the Guinness is buying. What is she buying? Just orange items. Okay, went active relay. So she might just do a gun build probably. I could see that happening. This is kind of a rough situation. boost back home. Oh, you say Oracle 5, nice. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean that really is what it's all about, like the efficiency to maximize your edge.
I see you.
That's what it's all about. But like you say, like the mini objectives is such an important way to look at it because, you know, there's so many things going on at once. You kind of have to take a lot of time focusing on each of them to kind of make progress on being able to automate it. So you have like space in your brain to do the next thing. Oh shit, I can't. How do I help them? Ouch. I'm like such a bad spot here.
You trying to punch me? I'm no coward.
I was really hoping to be able to get like the parry on in there. I was like really hoping. I was like, this is the only way I live, is if there's like a parry. Like I was trying to make it as nice and juicy for him as possible to like want to melee me. Oh fuck. Don't know if that was a smart use of my life there. I'll take it though, I guess. I don't know. I'm not too far behind, I guess. Like then again, this is kind of far behind.
Demolition time.
Yep, that's definitely the way forward to get to Atanis. Because once all that stuff is once you can like dial it in right, and it's all like subconscious, then you have like the mental bandwidth to actually find the spots that make things even more efficient, like the plays and the timings. Like you start to have enough ability to be aware of more of the power spikes and like those little edges that you can eke out, but that stuff doesn't really reveal itself to you until you have the mental bandwidth to once you've like done all the fundamentals really effectively like automatically, and then once you've got that, oh, she's so low. So like there we go, and then because you've created the advantages and it's all automated, then you have like the cognitive bandwidth to then see the opportunities to then actively start really making some sick gains. And I think that's like that stage of learning that's can be very frustrating for people because it feels like you're not improving. In fact, it feels like you're getting worse. The more you're focused on the fundamentals, and then eventually one day it all kind of clicks at the right time, and you start being able to do like crazy things, and you start getting really better, and it's almost like effort. It feels like effortless on the day, but obviously like, you've put in like loads of work to get there.
I see the Venator.
Let's play.
Interesting. And that's often where people. It's actually interesting because that's actually where people stall out, because a lot of people will lose faith in the process and they'll get bored, and so then they'll start finding ways to make it more interesting for themselves, and then by like doing that, they'll harm their fundamentals, and then because they're then getting inconsistent practice on fundamentals, then they are not going to be making the improvements that they need to be making, and then they'll be stuck kind of forever. And that's like the most common way people get stuck as players, is they abandon the fundamentals because they just don't see how it's helping them because they're just not, you know, having a good time. So and like everything I do from like farming these cans and stuff is like super inefficient.
Our green walker is under attack.
Oh shit! Didn't realize that it was. I lost it.
He's under our walker ship.
Okay, didn't expect the doorman to like gank me there, but that makes sense because he pushed. I saw them pushing there, but I'm like, okay, you know, the haze is without me there, so he should just play defensively, and then I get to farm and come back.
Damn, real?
Because all the sinners were up. But it just didn't work out that way. Oh, I should have picked up the. Maybe I should have picked up.
Our green walker is under attack.
I was like, oh, I should have picked up the enduring. What's it called? Enchanter's Emblem
Our blue walker is under attack.
before coming over, but I guess we should just deal with this tower now. But yeah, I lost 1,000 bag. That kind of sucks. Ouch, that hurt a lot. Get this creep. And I'm out. Anything for me to farm? No, not really.
Celeste, you are full of surprises, aren't you?
Oh, I have the whole front available. Is this beta? Yeah, technically it's closed beta, I guess, or like closed alpha. I don't know which one it would be considered at this time, but one of those. So that is going to respawn in a second. Which side? I guess we'll respawn the other side, right? I always forget. They changed the mechanics so many times that I just always forget how it works. But I think it's supposed to alternate. So it's going to respawn. There we go. And also the bridge buffs are up, but okay, he's going to go for it. I will grab this.
Let's go to Greenwich.
Okay, I was going to grab this. But I need to push this wave first. Can't be having these creeps. Just pushing. Haze, please kill those. Thank you. Thank you.
Our blue walker is under attack. Our yellow guard.
Okay, so needs to clean up yellow. Not really in the best spot for this. Okay, so Death Slam's gonna be online. Most likely, right? Yeah, it is. But okay, I'm gonna go for it. guess that works. So
Debuff continues to
blue needs
Our blue
Creeps on
walker
blue.
is under attack.
torment pulse. There we go.
And I was about to get his legs broken.
The old torment pulse. Still this sinners. Also, we have a lot of presence here. Kill these creeps. Okay, so at this point I just need the base hill. Solo. V-Bots 1v1ing. Okay, Viscous is getting 2v1'd. Yeah, Celeste. I haven't actually messed with the Celeste movement just yet, but it does look pretty cool.
Our blue walker is under attack.
So 2 minutes for the urn and the bridge buffs. There's like a Sinners on this lane too, and 2 people. 2 on green.
Let's go. They're gonna bleed. They're gonna bleed. Let's play. It's over.
I don't know why I tried to execute him there.
May your blades continue to strike true, Shiv.
Okay, well, I don't know if this is a good time to push Walker because the objectives are coming up in a minute, so
Rem, you are
get extra
adorable.
charge.
Leg along?
Oh yeah, I need to learn how to do shift movement, right?
Our blue
How's it work?
walker
You
is
just, like-
under attack.
And like, I don't know the timing. I think it's like the timing's like very close to the jump, so yeah, I don't know. You should be able to go much further than that, I think. So I don't know. Anyone know how the shift tech actually works? Okay, so bridge buffs coming up, so I'm gonna place myself in a spot where I can kind of get one here. Casting buff, that's actually not bad. Make those knives even better.
Kill them all.
No.
The spirit urn is waiting to be claimed.
See me get it.
I keep hitting the creeps, that sucks. Turnfire should be pretty nice here, actually. Nice.
Our yellow walker is under attack.
Hope this goes as well as rehearsal.
The spirit urn
Well, they're hitting these knives.
You think this is scary? Just wait for the grand finale.
Oh, I messed up the timing. That would have been pretty epic. Ouch. Okay, I'm alive. That's fine. I feel like I could have definitely played that better, but you know.
Viscous. What are we
They're
doing?
gonna have to try a lot harder than that to kill me. Someone's using their noodle. By the time they see me coming, it will be
Oh,
too
fuck.
late.
To get level 3 of this first. What am I doing? Yeah, clear this wave up.
Take mid, let's go.
Stops me.
Come mid, boss.
Knife out. They're gonna bleed.
Our green walker is under attack. The rejuvenator is descending.
They got the rejuvenator.
That sucks. One is like killing Mason's get.
We just gotta hold walkers, boys. Depend on
Oh,
walkers. if
there goes a
possible.
rejuve charge. At least.
Pull back.
This is dangerous.
Catch.
Dangerous. Dangerous.
Our
Fuck it, let's get the Dauntless.
under attack.
Okay, try to protect this walker.
Been destroyed. Our green walker is under attack.
That almost got him. That would have been awesome.
You can't hide forever.
It wouldn't really have done. It wouldn't have done anything, but it would have been cool though. They're running in. Do you guys want to try to fight it or no?
Yeah, hopefully.
Stealing our sinner.
Softening them up. This is where it ends.
The rejuvenator is expired.
Jesus Christ. It's good though, getting the creatures out.
No mercy.
I see the doorman.
The spirit urn is waiting to be claimed.
Huge. Get him.
Let's
Aim.
go to Broadway.
Aim.
They knew they were outmatched.
Damn. It would have been so epic if he had a knife, and then he like gets a knife on the guy slept, but through the veil. Okay, so
Enemy coming
this
on.
game's getting kind of weird. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Rem, without your help, we would be in peril.
Okay, that urn is mine for the taking. Yeah, he's just gone completely like pure orange. The Guinness. I got return fire though, so that's gonna go pretty hard against that. I'm getting in.
And away we go.
Orb's almost ready.
Our green walker is under attack.
See you.
They delivered the urn.
That sucks. That sucks.
Throne blades.
Okay, when's the next? Okay, 2 minutes. I just got this one. The bonuses around here. No, he's not. He's dead. Okay, okay. So I can build this Tank Buster actually. That'll make the knives do a lot more.
I won't lie.
Great,
I
that's
don't know what that does, but my kid says all the mystics are buying it.
help the Celeste here potentially. They might try to attack her, so everyone's missing.
Lay it down.
Sweet Ram, thank you for your aid.
Keep your
Also,
eye on
that's
the
a big
prize,
deal.
boys and girls.
Ouch.
Today, my race is definitely going up.
They're really making me work for it.
I'm out. I'm out. Steal the bag, get out. Don't know if I need the spell magic, to be honest. So restorative shot.
Our
Okay, well, it's gonna auto buy it. Fuck it.
under attack.
I don't think I actually need it, but oh fuck. Is there any way to stop this guy?
Our yellow walker has been destroyed.
What a slimy little doorman. Can't believe he's done this to me. Oh man, that sucks. I don't think there's anything we can do about this. Once again.
The rejuvenator is descending.
Yeah. Well, look at the analyst
They got the rejuvenator.
for the
We need a
squad.
plan.
Got the urn for the squad. They should try to fight this with the rejuve, so we'll see how that situation kind of plays out. So much orange got curse as well. That's crazy. So I don't have to turn it in. I can just kind of like drop it, and just this kind of serves as somewhat of a bait. Just bait them with this. I don't know if we can fight it directly.
Without your help,
How did he dodge that? What? What? Guys, did you see that shit? That's ridiculous. How was he dodging any of that? That's actually kind of wild. Like he like drift because of the hitbox kind of drifts after he does the door ult. He's like floating, and it dodged it. Like it's so crazy. What the fuck? Okay, now we're in trouble. Maybe. Unless they're overextending, which maybe they kind of are overextending it.
See you later.
I didn't have any knives left. Wasted too many on the shitty door, man. I'm gonna wipe it.
A Venator will not be denied.
What is Viscous going with build? What? Viscous is in a weird place right now since they nerfed the gun Viscous. Interesting builds. Yeah. It's like the... We got the Crushing Fist. It's really interesting. I guess, you know, for the... Puddle Punch, but... Really like, Plated is probably the GOAT item right now.
I don't think he's the broadest.
Plated armor. I think to be honest, I get rid of Dispel Magic and get plated armor because I think that's gonna be much more effective. Considering all the gun damage. Like metal skins and plate armor pretty good. Oh, he's dead. Right, he's shooting at me. Yeah, she's right there. I don't know if it makes sense to like go in that hard, but like we have a team that scales decently. I mean, McGinnis is just orange. Okay, she's finally getting some green. Yeah, Vampiric. She's still like pretty easy to kill, I think. I don't know, this game doesn't feel over. Might be one of those that just lasts for like infinite amount of time. Ah, disarming. I don't know, weird game. Really weird game. I think the... yeah. We get the damage deferral first.
The
Blood Lily.
spirit urn is waiting to be claimed.
Hopefully I can help this lesson time. I'm like so slow. I feel so slow on this sip. Well, Celeste is not losing any health. I guess she's just flying around probably. Okay, there we go. Now she's dead. She was like totally fine and then she just got totally wrecked.
Bleed. I see you. Softening him up.
Oh wow. I like missed all the creeps. Missing all of the creeps. Okay, well, this should be takeable. Okay, that's a problem. Well, I might be able to run this whilst they're doing mid-boss, though. That's the only plus.
What'd you say?
It's like the only plus to the situation.
The Rejuvenator is
Team's always dead.
I couldn't hear.
I think my team's been dead for like every mid-boss so far.
Your mic's like fucked up or something, bro. I got the rejuve. Now that's sufficient.
Okay.
You need to make a stand and stop them.
Throne blades.
Ooh. Okay, that's gonna kill her. I think. Oh, one more take. There we go. No, too ambitious. No, I missed.
Guess we're gonna see what happens.
Sure, Wraith. You're really scary.
No, no.
Kill the bots.
But they will return.
I'm a knifing there. That's a misclick.
You need to make a stand and stop them.
Okay, well, a lot of them are dead, but I mean, I have to backdoor this probably to. Yeah, I mean they have enough. We're gonna have enough up to like do some kind of a defense. But if we actually win that fight, we like actually challenge this, and they fight with 2, and we're like more. I think we might be able to actually kill them and stagger them, and be in a really good spot. I have so much money. I'm not gonna be able to get this in time. I might as well go by.
Walker, we gotta get this while they're down.
I think I need to get. Fuck, man. Are you not sure like what the best thing is to get here? I could just go more into the knives. They seem to be really actually chunking them.
Actually, we can just walk up and kill it in 2 seconds.
Oh my god, the damage is unbelievable. What was hitting me? Blood lesson. No, oh, you're right, of course. Yeah, but that's when the where's the damage though? Show more. Show more. So I just got hit by 100 different things. Is that what it's telling me, all simultaneously? Okay. Okay. This is like you're not able to dodge this with Spellbreaker, right? Because it's pure damage. The final stake is blessed, dealing pure damage. But it's gun damage. But it's gun damage. I don't know. I don't know what the best itemization is for like this like point. Yeah, I think we're like pretty wrecked now. We wiped off of that. That really sucks because if we had pulled off the walker, which I mean the timing was that we all go insta or well actually let's see if we can defend this. Look at the gun damage getting absolutely fisted.
I won't forget
R.I.P.
that anytime soon.
R.I.P.
That fucking sucked.
Did fucking suck. Okay. Okay, so I have time for to VOD review, I guess, a little bit, and then I have to go. But let's have a look and see kind of like what the fuck happens. Jesus Christ, this was awful. The last 2 games felt really like notably very bad. So I played 3 games yesterday on stream, and the level felt like better, a lot better in terms of team organization. Like this one, for example, just like felt way better. I don't know. Anyway, let's have a look though. The focus is on like really tuning up the early game. So I felt like the early game was a bit messy on this, but a bit better than the Talon one. So let's look at this one and see really quick. So this was a losing lane as well, because this was against Celeste and Viper, which actually turns out is kind of nasty, which makes sense. I don't have a lot of hit points. They have a lot of burst damage. The Viper is actually very good in the early game due to the burst damage. And obviously Viper can really eat up the waves too. If I'd finished that game like 10 minutes earlier, I would be able to squeeze in one more bit. Okay, so let's like watch this and just see if there's like glaring obvious things. I think I already know some of them things here that weren't great. Like I think I definitely didn't hit the small camp on time. This as well, I think this exchange unit trying to fight for the bridge. In hindsight, I think it probably didn't make as much sense, because the ability to fight close at this level in this matchup is not like I think we are worse there. Like Rem Talon against Viper and Celeste, like Viper and Celeste do pretty well in close range, even right at this level. So I think maybe I took some damage there that I didn't need to bother taking. So I think I was a little bit over aggressive there. So I think what is this sports? So I think that's one note immediately, is trying to like look at the matchup very quickly and then try to see if does it make sense to try to fight for space early on, or does it make more sense to try to be a little more passive and wait for your timing? Because based on when you get abilities online and certain power spikes, like it's definitely a power spike when you get level 2 of this with the plus 54 damage of charge shot. Is it better to wait to be a bit more aggressive at that point, for example? I think maybe in this case probably would be. I'm also still getting used to playing against Celeste. Yeah, absolutely, Nectar. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, definitely better synergy with Viper and Celeste. So just trying to like last it and not die. Getting heal from is nice. And you can see that the positioning there from Celeste is really nice. That's such a nice spot to be able to have that closer high ground. We can't really answer back in terms of damage. Rem can't even hit that far away, and I'm not doing meaningful damage on the trades, I think. With the arrows. The charge shots maybe, but so here I'm waiting for the boxes, which I think is fine. So I'm still healing a little bit. And then just trying to deal with the wave. Get the wave off the tower. Okay, 210. So okay, so yeah, I like that I dropped the trap here. Sometimes I forget to do that in case they try to, because they actually should be trying to steal this. That's actually a mistake on their end. They could probably have stolen it. So I think that makes sense. But somehow Rem found a kill there. Oh, because Abrams came across. Okay, what the fuck happened here? Why is Abrams coming across? Whoa, why is it skipping ahead so much? Oh my goodness. Let's go back a little bit. I remember this now. Like, for some reason, Abrams ganks the lane. Okay. I see what's happened. This is actually interesting. So the Mo's been disconnected. So my teammates were able to push this lane, and the Abrams actually did something smart where he sees that they're really pushed. And however, they're not low, but they are pretty pushed up. So Abrams is just coming to gank, which makes a lot of sense. It's like he can maybe run some boxes on the way. So he's taking the jump pad there. He's coming in. They are in a super gankable position. I go to farm just as the Abrams comes in. So it would have been probably more optimal if I didn't go to farm when this happens. But I gotta say, I didn't expect a 2-minute gank from Abrams. I gotta say. Yeah, I think sometimes there's a sense of urgency at this level where your tower's getting just hit a lot, but the resistances are so high at this stage of the game that your tower's going to be fine, I guess, for the most part. So Abrams is still in this lane, which is a bit strange, but finally some bridge control,
This is the perfect spot.
which is nice.
Goodbye.
I tried to focus on the Viper here because I feel like Viper's more squishy and, you know, in general it's going to be more effective to deal with the Viper, so I think target selection makes sense there. Viper ended up carrying this game for them, but at least I don't think Viper got that way because of the early lane.
Engaging.
Okay, so keeping Viper low. Kind of like cut off line of sight. I think that's okay. I think I could have still been a bit more passive. Or at least cut off damage a little bit better, I think. But I think getting aggressive and trying to do damage is important. Here I have power shots available, but I wanted to try to save them for the Viper.
The hunter strikes.
So I didn't see the Viper, so I think, yeah, just getting the neutrals was good. So I haven't run any boxes yet, really, except getting like 3 boxes earlier when they spawned. And we haven't had enough control to be able to steal their shit. It's a losing lane.
If they come,
Okay, so just whiff that. It's a losing lane, but I don't feel like we're coming off too poorly from it. Like we're ahead of them at this point in time because of the gank, I guess. So ultimately, so far, not too unhappy with how this is going. I probably don't have good ult usage. That's probably where things are the worst. So here is a decision of like, okay, well, am I trying to... Okay, what hits me here? What hit me there? What actually hit me there? That's crazy. Oh, like, he bounces a projectile, I guess. It's left bounce projectile. So they actually try to dive me because of this, I think. They get a quick melee in, I think that's good. Okay, Viper dies. I mean, this is like 1 damage by Viper. Oh, okay. I guess so. I guess it is like the spread on the ability. I guess does make it possible, I suppose, for like weird stuff like that to happen. So back on the lane, we are still ahead a little bit, but obviously they become more dangerous.
I see.
Still hitting some of these charged shots. Trying to save my charged shot for the Viper right now. So no Viper's still hanging out here. That's unfortunate that missed. That looked like it was pretty good, to be honest. Now this creep, the creep camp came up again, the small camp. I think that's a mistake, not just insta going for that right here. Because I would have been able to get my item online too, but okay, I've spotted that the Lash is low and I'm looking for him, but he is just the moment where Lash finally went back. And I'm like looking for Lash, but we cannot find him. So that's really unfortunate, actually. This is when they just like brute force a tower down. There's like nothing we can do.
They're in my sights.
And I'm managing to keep the damage on the Viper, I feel like, pretty effectively, but again, I don't hate this early lane, to be honest. I think things fall apart in this game and as they did in the other game into the mid game. But I do think I can get a lot better at running the boxes. That's definitely, I think, the weakest part of my early game. I don't think in this early game there was much necessity to do it. Maybe we could have snuck it in a little bit more. But the pressure from them on the tower was very high, so it just, I think, occupied a lot of attention. Okay, so I try to chase this kill. Ooh, but I'm with the last couple arrows. And I chase this kill. My assumption here is she's gonna hide there, and I'll be able to just backstab this.
Trap out.
There we go. Now I'm gonna die, but I think it's probably worth the trade there. Is Rem using his helpers on the creeps? Because I feel like oh, I see what he's done. So a lot of people will actually get the helpers up first, so that you get more of a push. And I guess the pillow's fine. I haven't really thought too much about skilling Rem, to be honest, and like where it makes the most sense. But I feel like Rem's impact, I feel like the helpers have an enormous impact. I guess maybe like one level is you get the extra helper, and that's probably still enough to push wave. Like, I don't know, if you guys have an opinion on how Rem plays. I don't have, like, I haven't really looked at him in depth in terms of the best ways to skill him.
Leave the prey to me.
Okay, so I'm looking to bird the... Oh, this shot was great. I remember this, actually. I'm chasing the Viper, and just...
Stirred up something in me that was best left sleeping.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it makes sense to me on the face of it, because the pillow doesn't provide very much. Obviously, you get damage and disruption with it, but and maybe you can farm with it, I guess. But like, I think you get more effective farm or implied farm from the macro that you get from the helpers to level 3 as soon as possible. Yeah, I think I'm definitely with you, Nextra, in terms of that. Because I think it's also about the roles on the, the role that you fulfill on the team. But I to be honest, if I'm playing Rem, I really want to just max the helpers to steal all the sinners. The fact that, like, you got all the sinners are online in the map right now. We're at 10 minutes, and there's 1 sinner, 2 sinner, 3 sinner. I mean, these might be the double sinners that are untouched. So that could be 2 sinners, 4 sinners, 5 sinners. I just took a sinner at 10 minutes. This is all free money for Rem. And on top of that, obviously, you get the tower push from the troopers with the helpers on them. So I think that's maybe a bit of a miss. Okay, so we got to the 10-minute mark on this game. I actually don't feel too bad about this laning phase. I think it was okay. I think this game kind of went wrong in the mid game, like I was saying. And I think obviously, like, you can only do so much sometimes. What else? We could look at the Shiv 1-2 really quick. Might as well. I got time. Look at the Shiv early lane. Again, I think focusing on the early lane in terms of trading, and are you taking opportunities to get ahead on souls by looking at where the wave is and how that impacts what you can do during the time that the wave is maybe pushed, or something similar to that is really huge. And if you're able to save your health economy, if you were to put it that way, in by being efficient, then you have more health, or there's maybe more of a disparity that exists that then creates opportunities to be aggressive at a time that will actually do something, like get a kill at a good moment, or you'll be able to dive a tower, for example, if you have enough health to do that. You also make it easier. Let's say, like, you're playing with teammates that are aware. If you're able to keep your health up and you're getting good trades and you're winning the battle of the wave pushing, then your teammates will be able to see this, and they'll be able to look at that and be like, oh, I should gank that lane because my teammates have enough health to dive the tower with me, and we 3v2 them on the tower, and we actually get the kills. And especially if you've managed to get them low. So So there was definitely some like shenanigans on this lane, on this early laning phase. I gotta say, by the way, I much prefer spending my time actually playing the game. Doing the review is not nearly as fun, but it does pay off. One of the ways it pays off is it forces you to focus. Firstly, you get to see stuff that's like clearly wrong that you might not notice, but secondly, it just helps you to have your brain more primed as to like what you should be focused on and what's important. Okay, so McGinnis and Doorman is honestly kind of a nasty lane for lane pressure. Between the bells and just McGinnis's ability to like heal and wall. Even the turrets, obviously McGinnis has really crazy lane pressure potential. Now this was kind of silly, all this stuff, like I misplayed some of this, like McGinnis is taking way too inefficient damage exchanges. I think against Haze, that's just a good Haze is going to destroy you if you're staying out in fights like this. In the lane, you know, you build up the fixation stacks, and then you just get to keep fighting them. As Haze, you're going to have a huge damage advantage. I missed quite a lot of important knives here. So good parry there. Actually get a second heavy melee. Very annoyed that, so like in that spot where you hear the sound, Haze should have like 180'd and then and then basically figured out, do I need to move forwards or can I just hit heavy melee to get a double heavy melee there? And we would have, I think, just killed the doorman. So just slight slow reaction, I think, from the Haze because she was standing very close. I die, but it ends up being, you know, traded out, so I think it ends up being kind of okay. As long as the Haze like doesn't kill creeps. I don't know what the Haze is doing, but as long as the Haze doesn't kill creeps during that, when I'm gone, you know, we're kind of in a good spot. And Haze is with me, so we can like push this wave up a bit, and this will create some space. So here actually, what I think is interesting is you don't need to like fight, but like the fact that we get a damage trade there that's actually really good, because now the McGinnis is like absolutely wrecked. And we got the lane pushed. So I'm like looking for McGinnis here, and this is not where she went, so that's kind of dumb. That knife hit the doorman, I've been cheated. That knife also hit the doorman, also cheated. But okay, so this was a spot, that's kind of what I've been looking for. So this was a spot where like the Haze went aggressive and we got a good damage exchange. It was a spot where I was already thinking, okay, we should be going back, or I could go back here and just farm some boxes. That would have been a really good spot to do it. The 2-minute 30 mark or so. So now this is a spot we push the wave up. This is a spot we're going back for boxes. And I realized as soon as I got hit by the bell, I'm like, oh fuck, because I shouldn't get hit by that damage there. That's a terrible damage exchange. I should instead have been like, okay, the creeps are up on the tower. It's 3 minutes. There's nothing that we can do to the tower here. There's no value of just sitting here doing anything. The doorman's going to juke and dodge most of the damage. So we're actually in a spot where the damage exchange is not favorable. So I should have gone back for the boxes way sooner. So that was a mistake. So this is one of those things about efficiency where I think I need to be, and hopefully I can be, much quicker to realize these spots where going back for the boxes and to like eke out some more souls would be really good. Oh, to steal the box stack? That's a great point. Yeah, that's a great point. Thanks for sharing that, because I did miss that. That would have been a great point to do that. Yeah, that's actually a really good thought too, because stealing stuff that's stealing resources on their part of the map is such a strong way to get ahead, because you're not just, you know, spending some time to get a little bit more ahead. You're like actually taking away their ability to even take that stuff in the first place. So yeah, that's like a reward. That's like another way to think about it too. If you're able to successfully push up that far, one of them's dead. That's a good reward. No. The thing is, right, okay, so this is the thing. It really sucks sometimes when this happens, when you get someone really low. And this is a spot where, the reason I'm pausing is going to make a point here that I think is interesting. There's a spot where sometimes we want to overcommit to fights, which at the time it doesn't feel like we're overcommitting, But what's actually happening is we feel like we deserved the kill, and that we should be given this kill by the universe. And so then that thought kind of like leads to us overcommitting. That is what overcommitting to a kill often means, is that you feel like you should have had that kill, that you deserve it. That's, you know, there's all these like little different kind of types of thoughts that happen subconsciously that lead you to do that. And that's kind of what I was feeling in that moment. I wanted to chase him so bad. And there's moments in the last couple of games where I've done things like this. It leads to an overextension, which is incorrect, and then I end up, giving away my advantage. And one thing that I'll mention about this too is that, you know, it's not enough to realize that maybe that's happening. You also have to realize that, or kind of close the loop when you notice things like this, and then say to yourself, okay, well, what's the correct logic here? Well, the correct logic is I'm actually still in a really great advantage. I'm still actually winning here because now the doorman's not going to be able to pressure the lane way less. He's going to maybe even have to go back to base, which he hasn't chosen to do. So either this is a kill that's set up for the future, or he stays on the lane and just doesn't pressure, and so I get a way easier lane, or I get a kill in the future. So I'm actually in a super good spot. And this is actually oftentimes what happens when, you know, you're in a spot where you feel like you should have got the kill and they just about got away. And as long as you don't make another mistake there, but recognize that you're in a perfect spot, it can be a good way to kind of resolve some of the overcommitments, because you're not looking to kind of just be super horny for the kill, but instead you're like, okay, awesome. Okay, how can I exploit this advantage? So you immediately go into the next logical thought pattern that's really beneficial for you to get more ahead. So I don't know if that is resonating for anybody, but because sometimes it's hard to be aware of why it is we make some of these types of mistakes. And sometimes it is about being short-sighted and not realizing that we're in a great spot and, you know, thinking into the future there. What's up? I've seen the YouTube comment. What is up, Daza? Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, you'll see me back in CS next month. And I'll be doing some Counter-Strike next month with James. So you will have that. And we'll be doing quite a bit. There's going to be quite a bit of casting. I think we've got quite a lot of days. Maybe like up to 10 days next month, which is really exciting. Looking forward to that. That's going to be kind of somewhat of a return. You know, James and I have only done CCT together since 2021, I think. I'm pretty sure that's right. It sounds crazy, but I think that's correct. I think that's all we've done since 2021 is basically, so that's like 4 or 5 years. So we'll be doing quite a bit of that next month. Okay, so yeah, this is the new shooter, I guess, if you were talking about. It's Deadlock. It's Valve's latest intellectual property. The last one was Dota 2, like 13 years ago. Okay, so I'm going to rewind a little bit here because I think what I did there was really inefficient. But I'm not sure. It's something that I was trying. And I think earlier today I was talking to people about how when you go through stuff like this, and you try to focus on improving something, like let's say I was really focused on how can I have a good early laning phase. Sometimes you will have to sort of limit test or try things that might seem stupid in retrospect. And I think this was one of those things. So did I rewind to the right spot? Okay, so I got Mystic Shot, and of course that's going to help me to kill these creeps. The wave is going against them, so actually this is a good time potentially to leave. I think this is a good time to leave. Otherwise, actually, is this a good time to leave? Do I still get the souls if Haze kills them? I might be too. I think I'm too far away. So I think this is actually a bad time to leave. And then by doing this, by trying to kill these, so it may have made sense to kill like one of these or something. But I think I'm taking myself away from experience on the lane by doing this. In addition to that, I'm losing all my health and I'm forced to go back to the base. So I will have missed for this like 2 waves. Oh man, I can't remember the math on how much a wave is worth. around this time of the game.
See Lash.
But I think that was not worth it. So if Haze froze this lane, that would probably be, it might be okay. But I think at best I'm coming out even there. So I don't think that it was worth doing that. With that said, where are we? 4.4k. So I'm 1,000 behind our Haze. The McGinnis obviously has been getting wrecked. So it's, you know, so we're still ahead in the lane. 4.9 there for Doorman. So I'm not too far behind the Doorman. But I definitely don't think that was efficient. It's not terrible because Haze gets solo souls. Yeah, that's fair. And you do want to get your Haze aheads. There's 8 boxes right next to you. Yeah. So that's something I think I need to like look more at how big a play. Oh, that was so close, but there we get the knife on her, so she's dead. I'm so wrecked. Oh, I actually escaped this fight. So I was looking for that parry. I was like, please. And I was trying to bait him into punching me so hard. I actually survived
I
there.
won't let you stop me.
Not sure what that right click was about. Coming back onto lane for a healing trooper. But like that healing trooper just disappeared. Oh no, it actually did heal me. Okay. So the healing troopers allows me to stay on the lane. I can't really help. Okay, so this didn't make sense. That did not make sense. I knew that the McGinnis was going to die, but I didn't need to commit so hard there. Again, still not in a horrible position overall, but... So I assume you're talking about the boxes that are in this, like, the corridor that's, like right here, I suppose, and, like, below. I'm assuming that you're talking about those boxes, and also, like, above.
Demolition time.
I like didn't use my cold front because I'm terrible at having all these actives. Damn, Doorman saved her ass. Okay, so I mean, it's not horrendous, but then yeah, definitely didn't do a great job. Like, could have stole those boxes. So recognizing that's nice. Recognizing the wave state, maybe. I guess one way that you could think about this, or I think is helpful for me, is thinking about things in a way where you sort of categorize them in some kind of like a framework. So Nextra brought this great point up previously where we had the wave really pushed and there was only one hero on the lane defending because we had gotten a kill. And I was quite healthy at that time. And so the wave state is that we are pushed to their tower. They are -1 hero and I am healthy. So these are like the conditions. So these conditions allow me to and the first condition is the wave is pushed, right? Because if the wave is pushed, you have so many options. And so you kind of go down the checklist. Okay, wave is pushed. And you know, what conditions need to be met for me to have options from this point of view? And what are the options that are desirable? We want to take away resources. That's like the biggest thing, especially when it's very early. At that time, it was like 2-3 minutes. So you can't do any damage to the tower. So we don't care about tower, like really doing anything to the tower. And so at that point, actually, the only things to do was to look at what are all the resources that I can take right now. And then you can kind of split the resources between, okay, what are my resources and what are their resources? And then you first think, okay, what resources of theirs are available to me? Because stealing is more valuable than taking your own if you're able to kind of steal successfully and get away. And so this is kind of what I mean, where we think, okay, well that's from the wave being pushed up to the tower. And so there's some other things there too, where, you know, it's too early in the game, I think, for this, but you could be thinking, okay, well, is ganking an option from this point of view? Well, okay, what conditions need to be met for me to be able to do that? And so, you know, one of those conditions we would say is, okay, well, it has to be the lane that's next to me because I'm not in a situation to like gank all the way across the other side of the map if I'm on the right lane, which I am. So I'd have to look at the middle lane and be like, okay, is Rem and Viscous, like, what's their HP? Okay, well, Viscous is actually really low. and Rem is pretty healthy. What about my teammates? And so, okay, one of my teammates is not even on the lane right now. Wraith is coming to the lane, and she's going to be healthy. We've got Lash as well, who is healthy too. So there is a potential to like maybe think of a gank, but only if my lane's really pushed right now, for example. So, you know, you start to ask these questions to figure out like what is the best option available to you. And so if let's say the wave is really pushed, let's say like we're at our tower, then you think of, you know, you're going to be thinking in a completely different way because your options will be limited based off that. And so that's kind of how I like to think about things. I like to categorize them. Okay, wave is pushed. Wave is you know, I'm pushed to my tower. So by figuring out the game state, you can start to like sort the signal for the noise, because that's like when you play like a lot of games, this stuff, like you may never have these thoughts ever in your life, but you play, you know, thousands and thousands of hours. You play with good players. You watch, you know, you watch like the pro level. You'll just pick this stuff up over time. But for me to learn much more quickly, this is kind of how it works best for me, because you need to be able to sort the signal for the noise. Which is when you're a pro player, that's literally your brain. It just does that incredibly well. You don't even, there's so much information in the game, but you know what the important stuff is, so you don't waste any cognitive bandwidth on the stuff that's not important. And so that frees up your mind a lot more. And then when you have everything automated, like we talked about before, then you have like so much mental space to really get into the zone and start doing like playing really well. But that's kind of a reward after putting in a lot of effort over a long period of time. With that said, I'm gonna have to jump in a second, so I'll quickly make sure that I haven't missed anything in the chat. So then you'd want to at least hit the roof boxes to supplement the time away. Yeah. Yes, 2 next to the camp on the roof. Yeah, 3 on the roof next to it, and then 4, 6 around the corridor area. Yeah. Okay, well, I have to say, like, you know, I only spent so yeah, 2.5 hour stream. We watched a couple VODs of Ido playing this early laning phase. We played a couple games, and we just finished watching a couple of the early laning phases of those 2 games. And I actually felt like this was actually very useful for me, and this is going to be very, very helpful to get to a place where I can be like, okay, now I've done the, you know, early game focus. Now let's like try to figure out how to improve the mid game. And think about the decision making there. That's going to be a lot harder because there's a lot more stuff that you could possibly look to do, a lot more options. But setting yourself up for a good mid game by having strong early games is pretty important. And I would advise probably is always the place for anybody to start. So, all right. Thank you everyone for watching. I'll probably put some of this on my VOD channel. VOD's channel? I don't know, it's a DDK Deadlock YouTube channel. It's like a separate channel. So if you missed some of it, it should be going up there at some point. Alright, thank you everyone for watching, and everyone on YouTube and Twitch. And I'll catch you guys for another stream later. And oh yeah, thank you Nextra for adding your thoughts. It's awesome. I think that's one of my favorite parts about doing stuff like this, is just hearing people's thoughts and discussions around these topics is really awesome. So thank you for doing that, and hopefully see you on the next one. All right, cheers everybody.